I sent it to my husband and I said, honey, it looks like you've got some competition. He's like, what the hell? I don't get to smell your panties in the morning. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're going to probably have to cut that out.
Listen up, Vegas. Welcome to the Slaughterhouse.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Slaughterhouse. With me are my partners in crime, the dynamic duo, Kelly Slaughter Daughter Remus and Ken Poe from Toykennections, and our very special guests, Action Force Desert Rat from Analog Toys, Tony Roberts, and from 3POA, a fellow beard bro, Ryan Pew 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 LaserPants.
Thank you.
So let's just get it out of the way right now. Who's got the better beard?
Oh.
Well,
who's got a coin? Somebody call heads or tails.
Well, no. Ken, I think you and I vote, and then Kelly gets the decider.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So who are you voting for, Ken?
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let it. This is totally dishonest. I landed on Zazel when I stopped counting, so I just got to go with that.
Oh, sorry, Ryan. I'm going with Zazel as well.
There you go. I'm going with Zazel. So
Ryan, don't let them beard shame you, mate. Rock what you've got, I say. That's what I tell my mum all the time. Rock what you've got.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll shout out to my mum who's watching. Sorry I called you out for the beard growth, mum, but stop shaving. Just wax it.
Does Kelly still have to make a deciding vote now, or?
I don't think so. I don't think my vote matters at this point.
Well, if you want to
Your
throw
vote
can make it
always
unanimous.
matters, Kelly.
I was going to go with you, Zazel.
Oh,
Anyway,
thanks, Kelly. Thanks.
Just make
Yeah,
it unanimous.
3-0, Ryan.
I'm sorry,
you know what?
Ryan.
Yeah, I'm out of here.
He's out.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Okay, I'm
We'll
back.
vote Desert Rat is the most easiest kept hairstyle.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with that, mate. You can't mess it up.
Well, it's easy when you don't have any.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Although I did recently see a.
It's not easy, right? Because I cut my hair myself, and normally I just get the clippers out and I go all over, and then the wife will get home from work and she'll be like, "You've missed a bit," and she'll take a photo.
That's amazing.
I did see a picture recently, Tony, on it was actually on your last Desert Rat Road to Desert Rat sort of workout video where you showed a picture and you were rocking the beard in that one. But I guess it's not an easy place to just cut away for a shave. So yeah, I guess you got to grow it out every now and again.
Yeah. I had a beard for a lot of the time that I was in Iraq, and to be honest, I would have a beard now. But Kelly, I'm sure you can relate. Happy wife, happy life. So
That's true.
she doesn't allow
but
a beard.
Also, happy spouse, happy house. It goes both
Ooh.
ways.
Well, that's true.
I like that one better.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I like that one better.
It's more inclusive, Ken. You can use that argument. But yeah, look. First of all, Kelly, this is Tony and Ryan.
Hi, Tony. Hi, Ryan.
Hello,
Very
Kelly.
nice to meet you, Slaughter
Nice
Daughter.
to meet you also.
I've been looking forward to this.
Oh, me too.
Excellent. Everyone knows who Ken is. Ken is the baby-faced Canadian from Toykennections. I would not be surprised, Ken, if you get asked for ID everywhere that you go. It is probably a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, when I'm with my 6-year-old and he's like, "Daddy, why are they asking how old you are? I know you're old." And I'm like, just roll with it. Just roll with it, Brandon. Just roll with it. You know, this is trust me. This is the good thing. He's like, but you're not a kid. I mean, just roll with it. Okay. Let's move past this point. Let's move past this point. You know, carry this bag of booze and let's go home. You know.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. So, you know, never want to stop looking younger, but at the same time, you get more respect if you look older. So what do you do, right? Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I'm sure if I shaved this beard off, I'd look, I don't know, either like a teenager or just like a big thumb. You know,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be a good look. It wouldn't be a good look.
When I shave, I look like a toddler.
Right?
Or a turtle. One of the two. It's weird.
I've seen some photos on social media of a clean-shaven Ryan, and Ryan, don't lose the beard.
Yeah, keep the
beard. Don't make any bets where you have to shave if you lose, or if you do, just make sure you win.
Oh, damn! By the end of this, we're going to have a bet, aren't we? And one of us has to come back on without one. I don't think I've shaved my face fully. But it's got to be decades now. And my youngest son has only just started to grow facial hair, and his school required him to shave off his sideburns for the school photo. Wow. And he was like super proud of these things. Like they were really rocking, right? These are like 70s sideburns. They were really good. And then I was like, all right, I'll show you how to shave. And as I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, I wonder if I remember how to shave. Is it with or against the grain? I pay people to do it now. Like if I went and got a beard trim recently, and I was like, I'll tell you when the beard ends and the chest hair begins, mate. You just keep going. Anyway, so let's get into it. So first of all, I want to say, Kelly, you had a very successful first video launch on your channel today. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks to you for all your help.
Oh, I was happy to do it. You wanna give us a little rundown on what it was and where they can find it?
Yes, they can find it at Slaughter Daughter Official on YouTube, and it's basically just conversations with Sarge, who I refer to as he's just my dad. But we talked about Iron Cheek and the movie that he's going to be in that's coming up soon. Lots of really fun stories. An almost plane crash.
Right, yes. Yeah.
We talked a lot about the Iron Cheek.
More than I thought it was going to be. Yeah.
I didn't get that far yet, but are you talking about like the boot camp matches that they had or more on the road stories? Because I didn't get that far into it yet.
Like personal stories.
I see. I see.
More personal behind the scenes stories.
Awesome. It was quite a busy day on YouTube because it was like either Slaughter Daughter was premiering or Analog Toys was live or Analog Toys was live again. Right. I swear I'm like putting my kid to bed and I'm like having to switch between WrestleMania and Analog Toys. And I'm like, I still haven't finished the Slaughter Daughter one. And I'm like, oh wait, I gotta go on. So charging the battery, like my phone was perpetually charged today and I could only walk so far away from it. So one of those days, like all that was missing was a 3POA podcast and a Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship.
Well, we got 2 out of 3. So we're,
Hey, this is the 5 POA today. It's
that's
all
right. Classic Kenner style.
All right.
Oh, well, Kenner had knee joints too, didn't they? Never mind. Retracted.
No, they didn't actually. They didn't.
Indiana Jones did, but Star Wars didn't.
Right, true.
Whoops. What am I dropping? Oh.
The ball, mate.
Nope. They don't. I was gonna grab a Kenner figure to show you, but this is a Pro Customs one, so it's not.
I was thinking of the Superpowers line. Who did that? Was that Kenner?
That was
Kenner as well.
That was Kenner, yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking of them. They had the knee joints. But yeah, Kelly, yours. We recorded for over 3 hours, so 3 hours worth of footage, and then I was tasked. I offered to record and edit it, so A, because I want to be a good friend and help Kelly out, and B, because I get to sit there and listen to all these stories in real time. So it was win-win. But definitely
even
check
once
it out.
Get edited out.
Right, I had to edit out a few things. Yeah, I'll do a what do they call that? A gag reel or something? Bloopers, Kelly clip.
No.
But while we're
your second video, outtakes.
Right. Yeah. Well, we've got enough for 3 videos, so we've cut it up into 3 episodes. First one dropped today, and there'll be 2 more in the coming weeks. And then take it from there. But I also want to say congratulations on the new 3POA YouTube channel, where you, I guess, will eventually exclusively throw up your live streams. I know you're streaming in both Tony's channel and 3POA at the moment, but it's a good idea to have a dedicated channel where people can go and watch it. It's very enjoyable, so highly recommend it. But so, what was the idea behind? Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say we're almost at 400 subs now. So
well done.
That was fast. That was quick.
Yeah, it took a couple weeks, but people are. I think they're getting the message. As we dual stream on Analog Toys, it takes a lot of effort to click your mouse twice.
Right.
So.
Well, if you stop giving them options, they'll only have one place to go to watch.
Right.
And look, I've already had this idea where, maybe in the next couple of shows, if we don't crack that 1,000 subs, we want to really crack 1,000 subs before we launch on that channel. But whatever happened, I'm like, a couple more episodes. If that hasn't happened, I will say that I'm live streaming on Analog Toys for the 3POA, and I'll turn on a live stream, and all the live stream's going to be is a screen saying click the link below to watch the actual 3POA and send them over there. So
that's pretty smart. Yeah,
good idea.
I'm not that smart, Ken. Come on. I guarantee you I came up with that idea while I was sitting on the toilet, because it's the only
that's where all the best ideas come up with, right?
Yeah. If I could stream from there, I would.
But please don't.
Yeah, good call.
Zazel, I promise I haven't talked to you on the phone while I'm sitting on the toilet.
I guarantee
I didn't press mute
have.
right before I press flush.
Yeah,
I promise I haven't, or maybe I have. So
yeah, I think you have, mate. I think you have. So I'm drinking about this much water today because I'm nursing a gin-induced hangover from a night last night. So
cheers.
Excuse me. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers. I got nothing to drink, but
alcohol. It's not water.
It is. You're carrying on. Nice.
I brought 2 with me.
Well, I thought I was in good company then. If I admitted I had a hangover, I'm in good company with those that are also good drinkers. But yeah, if we were recording this earlier today, I would have really struggled. The older I get, the worse these hangovers are. And yeah, I thought I was a gin fan, but I was hating on gin today. It was just, awful. But I'm functioning, if only just. But
it's all good, man. It's all good. Cheers again.
You wake up going, I'm never going to drink again, but I will. I know I will. It's
It only takes a few hours, and you change your mind.
Well, that's right. Yeah, they say that the hair of the dog, but I was like, I couldn't bring myself to do that either. I was like, no, just nothing. So I was going to throw up a whole bunch of collection photos and stuff, and then I realized that you guys have such just a bountiful collection within you, within your wherever it is that you're streaming from, toy rooms or lounge rooms or kitchens or whatever, that it was really unnecessary to. You just, it's right there to look at behind you. Great collections. Unfortunately, mine is not as easy to display on camera, but I have brought in my version 1 Action Force Sarge, and Kelly's got her posters on the back. So I think we're all doing okay.
Still counts, man. Still counts.
Yeah. It's like a beard. You just rock what you've got. So we're actually going to talk about modern era collecting, because I think there's a bit of conversation to be had there. And Kelly, you might be thinking that, well, I don't really have a lot of discussion to do with modern era collecting as far as action figures are concerned. But I put it to you, Kelly, that you actually do, because you are always showing me whatever new stuff that your dad has brought over, and whether you like it or not, you gain a collection of them regardless.
They just sit there, and I'm like, Dad, what do you want me to do with all these? He's like, well, just keep them. And I'm like, but
display them, play with them, whatever.
Like, if I kept everything, I'd have a shrine to my dad. Like,
yeah.
I can think of somebody on this channel who might already have a shrine to your dad who, like, don't
You're making it sound really weird.
That's already been called dibs on, so I think you're in
Yeah.
okay company if you have a shrine about your dad. It's okay.
Yeah, I won't judge. I won't judge. It must. Yeah, now I just feel like I'm a creep. But
Now it would be if I had one of my dad,
yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
Look, just wait until Desert Rat comes out. Ryan's gonna have a shrine, incense, candles. He's gonna get into a bathrobe.
Incorrect, sir. No.
Do you leave an offering every morning?
I'm going to turn it into a voodoo doll.
Tony makes him like, ow, what's going on?
He's going to flock the top of it to make it look like it's got some hair.
Right now.
So that's actually I'll bring up the Desert Rat picture, Ken, now, so that
sure.
Because Kelly, just so that you've got a point of reference in what we're talking about. Oh, first of all, before we do throw that up, just want to show off my Desert Rat equipped now, thanks to Tony sending me this bad boy for my Desert Rat to hold. It also came with whatever this is, but I haven't figured it out yet.
It's a
detonator
for TNT.
Yeah.
Came with some killer socks.
Yeah.
Those things.
Like if he could drive a bus with those socks.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's the original Desert Rat. So I'll add this. This is the picture that Ken asked me to throw up. So we'll add this to the stream. Give me a second.
Yeah. So this is quite interesting, as I was just going through some photos online because I didn't grow up with the original like Action Force or Action Man stuff. So a few months ago, I was looking back at what the previous Desert Rats had looked like, and I started kind of tracking the evolution. And Tony, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the Desert Range figure. Is that right?
Long range desert group, yeah, which
That's
were
what I mean.
a group of British soldiers in World War II who fought behind enemy lines in North Africa against the Germans.
Okay. And so I think that what they did is when they released the 12 most popular Action Man guys, is that kind of what Desert Rat's supposed to be from the Palatoy range?
Yeah, 100%. It's based on this outfit, and they changed a lot of the names when they shrunk Action Man down to 3 3/4 inch scale.
Gotcha.
So yeah, this is exactly that. This is, I think, among the Palatoy employees, they probably had a nickname of this guy for Desert Rat is obviously a name for any British soldier who fought in North Africa. They were the Desert Rats, or the Rats of Tobruk and things like that. And it's probably one of the things that really blindsided me the most when Bobby announced the figure. I kind of had an idea that Bobby was making my rifle because I was kind of begging him to do it. But then he started asking me for a lot of photos, and then he wanted profile photos of my face. And he was like, I need a photo of the front of your face, the 2 sides, the back. And I was like, what an awesome dude. He's going to make me a custom head. And that's all that I thought. I was like, he's going to make me a custom head that I can put on another figure. And then he obviously announced this during Iconicon last year. And when I saw the name and the packaging, I was like, man, that guy's a genius. He had all these photos of me in Iraq. Majority of my military career was spent in the Middle East, in the desert. You've got this desert character from the original line, and I never would have thought of that. So
awesome. Yeah, that was actually for me the most memorable part of Iconicon last year. I think, did he unveil it on 2 Cents Toys' channel, or was it on a different? That was, because I didn't know you at the time, right? But I've been kind of following, your channel here and there. Impossible Pie, who's always in your comment section and in my comment section, was kind of the one who started saying, check out Analog Toys for some previous Action Man, Action Force stuff. And what it is, on my channel, I do kind of this semi-series called The Evolution of Toys, where I track like the vintage to modern progression or multiple versions of the same character. So I've done one for Soundwave. I did one for Transformer Sideswipe today. I did one for Steel Brigade, where I showed like the version D Steel Brigade, and then side by side with the new Action Force 1 and how how the patches look next to each other. And then it just got me into thinking like, hey, for this stream, why don't I throw something together that looks like this and just shows the progression of Desert Rat through the years and sort of how it's progressed and what he looks like in modern times. And that's kind of how this picture kind of flowed together. And I showed it to Zazel, and I'm just like, hey, this kind of a interesting discussion to kind of have, and just be like, that's what it started is with the long range desert figure, then the Palatoy 82 figure, and now the sort of next evolution with the Valaverse one. And I just thought it was a cool little side discussion to have while we're talking about this. And of course, Zazel had his figure, and it just made for a good side talk here.
The other interesting thing with the long range desert group, they've actually got a pair of black and blue parachute wings above the pocket. That's actually Special Forces parachute wings, or SAS parachute wings.
Okay.
The SAS were, when they were first formed, they were also fighting behind enemy lines in North Africa. That's where they started doing raids on German airfields and things like that. So although this isn't World War II SAS, it's kind of, their outfits are very, very similar. The fact that I ended up serving in the SAS, and I don't even think Bobby realized at the time that the Desert Rat character goes all the way back to the Long Range Desert Group, which is very, very closely associated with the birth of the SAS. Like, there's so many just little connections that can be drawn. It's a fascinating story, and I look forward to the video you're going to make about it, Ken.
Oh, I wasn't actually sure if I was going to make a video because I don't actually have the other two figures. But if you're
well, now you've told it up, you've got to do it.
If you're putting me on the spot, I might have to make some weak attempt with some Google images of figures I don't have.
Maybe it's something we can collaborate on one day.
Ooh, I like the sound of that. All right. Cool. Yeah. So anyway, just thought we'd lead off with that. And I know we have some other modern figures to talk about. Ryan, I know you're almost exclusively a modern collector. What are the chances I can convince you, Ryan, to make the 2.5-hour drive up here in about 11 hours and visit the toy show?
There's a toy show tomorrow?
Oh, I haven't told you yet. I thought I told you. Whoops. Yeah, there's one up here in the Pitt Meadows area, and I know you've made the drive up here a few times. So
yeah, the chances for tomorrow are not good.
Okay, fair enough.
The next one, that Vancouver Comic and Toy Show, I've been to that one a couple times, and that's an amazing show. I would love to come up for the next one. When is it?
That next one's during Joe Fest, though, so you're probably not going to
the one after that. Then. The
one after that's going to be around Halloween. So we'll talk.
Busy schedule.
Talk. Right. We've technically met in person, but I think you were with your buddy, and it was very, very quick pass by.
Probably, yeah. Last time I was up there was like 2 weeks before the whole pandemic started.
Ah, so you were here for the March 2020 show. That's the one. I'm pretty sure I met you there then. So,
yeah, probably.
It's because your buddy would have come to my table, and he was always with somebody. So
yeah.
You didn't have the 3POA podcast at the time, though, so I wouldn't have known what to associate you with other than just friend of a friend. But
yeah,
that's cool. Yeah, awesome.
So I got to ask LaserPants, what's with the name LaserPants? Because it's an absolutely amazing name to use, but somewhere along the line I must have missed the story behind it.
Well, a long time ago, actually, no, there's no story behind it. The story is there was this social media app called Instagram, and I downloaded it, and I think I asked my wife, what should my username be on this? And she couldn't come up with anything, and I just kind of typed in LaserPants, and that's what it's been. It's not a great story. It's actually a horrible story. I wish you hadn't asked me that question.
Well, I'm regretting it now too. Yeah.
At least you said it.
By the username LaserPants when he had a MySpace page. So.
Maybe.
Well, at least you didn't say it was like AOL or something like that, all the way back to the 90s or something, and it just stopped.
Right.
Yeah.
Online dating handle.
My only friends. Yep.
Come and check out my LaserPants. Do you own a pair of pants that have lasers on them? Because you should rectify that if you don't.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'll let you in on a little secret. He's not wearing pants.
Well, you're in good company, mate, because I couldn't be bothered either.
I told you that in confidence.
If you don't mind, I had a quick question for Kelly. So, your dad has obviously had a ton of action figures made in his likeness over the years. Could you even count how many between the wrestling figures, the G.I. Joe figures, now the Action Force figures, all these different figures of your dad, Sergeant Slaughter? How many people have you ever met that are in a toy line with him? Have you met a lot of the wrestlers?
I have met a lot of the wrestlers. You want me to tell you who I've met? If I can remember them all?
Yeah. Name drop.
I've met Stone Cold, met The Rock. I've met The Rock a couple times, actually, and he was always very, very, very nice and gracious and humble. Undertaker, of
all
course,
the legends.
My dad's like good friends were Roddy Piper. I've met Sheik, Nikolai Volkov. I mean, Big Show,
Bret Hart,
Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, the Hardy Boys.
All right, who haven't you met, Kelly? Just tell us who you haven't met.
I've met Hulk Hogan. I don't know who I haven't met. I never met Andre because sadly he had already passed.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know when he passed, but I never met
him.
him.
It was 93, but he was kind of going on the downcline for a few years before that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I never met him. I would have loved to have met him because, I mean, obviously he's a legendary wrestler, but I wanted to meet him because he's in my favorite movie ever, Princess Bride.
Right.
I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. First ever Hall of Famer, Andre the Giant. So, yeah. Quite the story there. Wow, it's a lot of names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Met a lot of them. So, but yeah, that's.
And look, I'm not a wrestler, but it's kind of freaking me out a little bit to think that now me and your dad,
Hang on, let me bring you.
are like buddies now.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys play together.
Well,
Play in the sandbox.
Yeah, right.
let's see what he has to say about that.
How Tony plays with his toys is up to Tony. No shame, mate. I do the same thing.
People used to tell me, and I don't know why they would tell me, probably just to be mean, but they would be like, I was playing with your dad's G.I. Joe and I blew him up. I'd be like,
Yikes.
okay. Or like I cut his arms off or broke his arms off or whatever they did to be mean to it. I'm like, okay. Whatever.
Unbelievable.
I bet
think
you
I have
wish you
some of
had
those.
it now.
Mm.
That's what I'm going to tell Tony when I get a Desert Rat figure. Tony, I
Blew the
it
arms
up,
off it.
ripped the arms off, put the head on a pike.
Like
look,
Sid in Toy Story.
Game of Thrones style.
Or whatever that kid's name was in Toy Story.
Oh,
And
Sid.
Oh, Sid?
Yeah,
Okay.
Sid. Yeah.
So, look, Tony, the thing is that, you know, I've got to make a prediction that there are going to be at least one or two videos where someone's going to blow up your action figure. If not because LaserPants just said it, but, you know, just because. So, but, you know, say a toy, they
And
can
I'm
do what they want.
prepared for this. I have acquired a 6-inch scaled wheelchair. So
Perfect.
if Desert Rat gets hit by an IED, he's good.
Right. No legs required.
No,
Awesome.
none.
Well, at least he doesn't wear those knee-high socks, though. So you're at least lucked out on that one.
Version 2, baby. Version 2.
Cross your fingers, everyone.
Throwback
Doubles as
version.
Kelly's
Retro stuff.
dad got a tank top. I'm getting knee-high socks.
Yep. I'm going to be disappointed if there isn't one now in Wave 2 of Desert Rat. I need that look now. You've absolutely made it a must. At least find a custom one. But it's Did you have a follow up on that one, Tony, or you're happy to move on after Kelly shamed you for playing with your toys?
I didn't think my question through, right? Because what I was actually thinking in my head, and then as I was saying the question, my brain went. I was where I thought this was going to go. Was I was going to say to Kelly, you've had all these different action figures made, but I bet you've never met anyone else who's in a toy line with your dad. And then she starts rattling off the names of all these wrestlers, and I went, "Oh,
yeah,
God, you're an idiot."
yeah.
Perhaps I might just be the only other Action Force person you've met.
Yes, you're the first Action Force I've met.
There we go. There we go.
My dad.
Still counts for something, right?
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right.
So I've got actually, Kelly, I've got a question, Kelly, because you've got very young kids. And me and Ken were having a conversation the other day about the longevity of toy collecting. And as my opinion is that toy collecting is on a decline because kids just aren't that into toys anymore. And so the people that are buying the toys are mostly, people like us. And eventually when, we stop collecting or, we go the way of no longer in existence, as morbid as that sounds, I just don't see the next generation, giving a shit about the action figures that we had. So with that, the question being, how many wrestlers have you met? No, hang on. The question is sorry, no. The question is, do your kids have do your kids play with that?
Last night?
Yeah, there's too many gins, mate. Too many. I think a whole bottle of gin. And then more. Anyway, no, thank you very much. But do your kids, when you go down to the shop, do they want toys? Do they care about toys, or are they all video games now?
Yes and yes. I can't go in a store with my kids without them wanting me to buy them a toy.
Okay, like
good. See,
yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go, Zazel.
Like
1 point
Legos. My son is like Legos, or maybe like a Minecraft figurine because they've got those. And
okay, yeah.
Things like that. He likes like army figurines, like like Action Force and stuff like that. But so he does play with that stuff. Not the Action Force stuff, but knockoff
stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, because you can't like buy GI Joes and stuff like that anymore in the stores. I found out because he wanted that for Christmas, and then I'm like, Dad, Rudy wants GI Joes for Christmas, so can you help me out here? Because they're not in the store.
Yeah.
And the ones I find online are really expensive, and I don't think I want him to play with them. So I need help. But
send me your address, Kelly. I can probably send you just a few. I can probably just send you a few. I'd probably send you a few.
Okay.
We'll talk.
I'll send you my address. Yeah.
All right.
For sure. So I think he got stuff from like the movies that are out. It wasn't what he wanted. But
don't say that. Don't say the Snake Eyes movie. Oh, sorry. Did I just curse on camera?
Yeah, he got like, I don't even know what it was, but it's got a sword and it just goes like this with the sword. I don't know.
Right. Well, look, if anything, you've proven me wrong.
It was the only thing I could find that was a reasonable price and was like, okay, I'll buy that.
So,
but anyway, and then my daughter is like dolls and stuffed animals and.
So Zazel, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the reason you asked this is because we had that one talk show on my channel where I was talking to you and Adam from Go Figure, And I kind of, towards the end, in the last few minutes, I gestured around and I goes, guys, I think we're in the golden age of action figures. And I said it with such conviction. And Zazel looks at the camera. No. Adam looks at the camera. No. I throw my headphones off. I get up, and Zazel gives this whole speech, exactly the one he gave. That, what is it? This is the past. This is the future. They're converging, and we're it. There is no next generation. And I doubled down, and I tried to go for it. I'm like, no, but look at how many options we have. And they're like, and how old are you, Ken? And how many young collectors do you know? I'm like, okay, I'm living in denial, but I'll continue to live in blissful denial. So, yeah, I think that's how that came up.
Maybe my opinion is a little bit harsh in that I don't think there's much of a future in it. But obviously, Kelly's kids are helping to maintain our love of childhood memories and playing with action figures. So, yeah. Oh well, Tony, you've got a son, right?
I do, and since the age of 5, all he's wanted is an iPad.
Right. Yeah.
And a PlayStation.
Yeah.
He's never been into action figures. I was going to divorce him out of the family when he started collecting Funko Pops.
Oh, right. Yes.
But I just said to myself, look, hopefully it's just a phase.
Yeah.
He's now through that phase, and I need to destroy a few Funko Pops for a funny video we're doing for Iconicon.
Oh, nice.
And I was
we just talked about blowing stuff up
to destroy, and he's like, you can destroy all of them. And I'm like, you finally grew up, mate. Well,
full disclosure,
he's never been into toys. He was into Lego for a little bit, but yeah, that's why my channel's called Analog Toys, because I was having this trying to come up with a name, having this conversation with the wife, and it was like, you know, how do I kind of encapsulate the era of toys I want to talk about? It's like, you know, and I use the example, hey, my son doesn't grow up playing with action figures because he lives in a digital age. He's got digital toys. Well, what's the opposite of that? And that's where Analog Toys came from.
I wondered.
There you go. Clever. Yeah.
I wondered that.
Better story than LaserPants.
How dare you?
Well, I do have one Funko Pop. It won't surprise you on which Funko Pop it is, but yeah, it's Iron
Desert
Sheik.
Rat.
Desert Rat.
Oh,
No, it is.
Iron
No, it's Sergeant Slaughter. But even when I got that one, I was like, oh, do I want it? Like, how sick am I? Like, how deep into this rabbit hole am I willing to go? Am I willing to get a Funko Pop? My brother has Funko Pops all over his wall. Like he displays them all in their boxes all over his wall. Like just so many Funko Pops. And I remember looking at him going, nah, I'll never own one of those. And then there's a Sergeant Slaughter one. I was like, shit. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, I have that one.
If you're a collector of anything, eventually a Funko Pop will come along that's in your wheelhouse, and you might question it. Oh, wait, do I want that one? I've held off. I've completely held off. I don't have a single one.
Well,
What's
well
wrong
done.
with Funko Pop?
To me, they all just look the same. They're not very interesting. You know, I like figures that you can pose around on the shelf. You know, they look like actual people, not like dead-eyed, weird statues. I don't know. Just
it feels like a fad that won't die. That's what it feels like with Funko Pops. Because I got a coworker, and he has a big lineup of Funko Pops, just like Zazel's brother there, and I'm just like, man, like I can't stare at this. Can you put it somewhere else? He's like, no, it goes right in front of your cubicle at work. I'm like, all right, I'll just try to get used to it. I still haven't gotten used to it.
They're cool.
You know, Kelly, you just recently got one, didn't you? Todd sent you one, or is sending you one?
Yes. Yep.
So I've got.
So that one definitely doesn't look like any of the other ones I've seen.
Well, that's what I mean. That one looks pretty cool. It's a My Pet Monster Funko Pop, and that one actually looks pretty cool. She's gonna go get it, or she's going to the bathroom. It could be either one with Kel. You never know. Oh wait, she's still in the room.
you go.
Yeah, so I
Actually,
have
that
to
one
admit,
does work. That totally works.
yeah, that one works okay. It still needs pupils,
Yeah,
but
I think it's pretty awesome. And I think the one of my dad is pretty awesome too.
yeah, he signs
And that's
so
all
many
I
of
have to
those.
say about that.
Yeah, all right.
If they ever made
Don't
a
be hating
Funko
on
Pop
the
of
Funko
LaserPants, I would add that to my collection.
Right.
Ryan, if
yeah.
they made a Funko Pop of you, and I wouldn't destroy it, I would have a loose one, a boxed one. I think you would make a good Funko Pop.
Get a few variants out there. Get 3 or 4 laser
Yeah.
pants. Have a little laser
Yeah,
pants
yeah,
sign.
Are you
Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
something about the size of my head,
Beard?
Tony?
Is it?
It's cute and lovable.
Oh,
Give you something to sign at Joe Fest. Second best beard on YouTube.
Second best just in this chat. I'm not sure about the rest of YouTube.
So I gotta keep my workout regime so I can start signing my own Action Force figures when that comes out.
Trigger.
Yeah, Trigger. Like it's
I can't unsee it anymore. Once you point it out.
I can't
they're
unsee
coming
it
in the
now
same
either.
wave, right? You get Desert Rat and Trigger in the same wave. So there you go.
You need to get the baseball cap, those all
Yeah.
baseball cap backwards.
Baseball cap backwards. I need to get a different style of shades, but this one will work in a pinch.
Mhm.
But yeah, backwards cap. Yeah. I don't think Tony meant for that to get out. That it was based on me, but I'm willing to break it out here on Slaughterhouse. But LaserPants, Ryan, you'll get one eventually, mate. Don't feel left out.
I have one.
Oh well,
I'm
missing
in Action
something.
Force. You didn't know that?
Which masked character is it?
You've got to see this.
All right. Keep talking. Let me
Put
go
him on
grab
the-
it.
Yeah, keep running your mouth, Zazel. I'm going to go get this. Well, we're actually
got to see
trying
this. This is really good.
All right, I can't wait to see it.
He may have
But,
posted this on Instagram if he's getting what I think he's getting.
Right.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know
We're
where
trying to
it's
get
gonna
Slaughter Daughter into Action Force, aren't we, Cal? We gave a pretty good argument.
A part of Action Force.
Bobby sounded really receptive that night. So,
He did. I didn't even finish my pitch. I was like, wait, but I have more that I want to say.
And he's like,
I have
say no more,
ideas. Listen
you're
to
in.
me.
I think something just made sense in his head,
Yeah.
Yeah, when it clicks,
All
it
right.
clicks, right? So,
Why not?
all right, Ryan. Shall we count this down?
So we got Sarge.
What did you do?
Right.
Yeah. Hang on a sec. Let me. I
When
need
Sarge
full view.
wants to bring in reinforcements.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did post this on Instagram.
Right.
He calls up.
That is awesome.
That is good.
awesome.
Yeah. So this is from a friend of mine, Mark, who has his own company called Mark II Design.
Right.
And he actually took scans of my head at the last Joe Fest. And maybe about a month ago, I get a box in the mail from him. I'm like, what did he send me? And he had this custom head sculpt in there.
That's amazing.
He scanned your
That's
head.
cool.
Like,
Yeah, he
With
used
what?
his phone. He had an app on his phone, and he went all the way around my head and scanned the whole thing. And I think he printed it and painted it
Wow.
himself. And yeah,
It's very well done. It's very well done. And it's
he-
amazing what you can do on a mobile phone these days too.
yeah, he knocked it out of the park. Unfortunately, this was something he was going to kind of get into with his company, but the app was removed from Apple's App Store, and so he no longer has
wow.
access to it. Yeah,
Oh wow. Well, it's unfortunate.
yeah. But this is the first one he made, and I think the last one.
Right. Collector's item.
Yeah.
Don't blow it
One of
up.
a kind, custom.
Yeah. Keep that one for sure. So
Yeah.
I'll bring up your picture, Ken, for the.
Oh, sure.
No, actually, before I do bring up this picture, Ken, I just want to show this. I was at Dreamworld not long ago for my son's birthday, and on the way out of Dreamworld, they had a Lego store, and my favorite superhero also happens to be Desert Rat's favorite superhero,
Yes.
the Hulk.
Love me some
And I was,
Hulk.
yeah. I walked past that and I was like, no, I've got to take a photo. Because I knew Tony was going to be on the show and probably appreciate it. But yeah, huge Hulk fan. Always loved the Hulk. Even when he was, particularly when the Peter David run, when he started becoming Smart Hulk, I liked that. A lot of my friends were out, then they're like, no, I can't do with a Smart Hulk. I said, look, I don't mind it. I'm okay with it. Yeah, but I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
they had a few Hulks around that time. Like it wasn't just Bruce Banner. Wasn't there another Hulk around that time too? Or
I'm thinking early 90s to mid 90s.
Yeah,
I mean, he had Doc Samson around that time.
that's who I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But because I didn't, you don't know how many kids I had to tell to piss off so I could take this photo without someone in front of it. It was very popular, and yeah. And then my son's like, "Do you want me to take a photo with you with it?" I said, "No, I don't want to be in. Just let me take a picture of this thing." Anyway, alrighty, I'll get Ken's photo because
awesome.
This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah. So when Zazel was talking about getting some modern figures for discussion purposes, I just thought, what do I have that I can't actually display and I'm kind of running out of room for? And I'm like, I know, I got my Avengers set back when it was like, when the movies were coming out and it was kind of a big deal. And I just one by one started grabbing these guys. And this was like, they were still expensive back then, but they weren't like now, because like this stuff just keeps going up in price. I don't think I've bought a Hot Toys figure since about 2019 by now. But once I completed the set, I was just like, hey, this looks good. I'll take a photo. And I can't remember, I think it was around the end of 2018, I had replaced a couple of the figures because like I got previous versions, but I wasn't super happy. I wanted a sleeveless Thor. I wanted a Captain America either from the Age of Ultron or the Civil War movies. And then I ended up getting that one. So then I was just like, kind of proud of it. So I figured, I'll take a group shot. And the original Avengers 1 Hawkeye blew up to something like $600 on the secondary market. So when they released one for the Age of Ultron, I was just like absolutely like, yes, I gotta grab it. And I like pre-ordered one right away from like the nearby store. Hulk came off of a Craigslist listing there, and Nick Fury to me just has to go with the group, right? It's one of those things that like I know people look at him as more of like the Professor Xavier of the group, but for me, I was like, no, he's got to be in there. He's got to be part of it, right? And I don't know, like Black Widow is more of a support character, but like after a couple of movies, like you really start to like her, right? And with the Iron Man there, I had to get the Mark 7 because that was the one with the big battle of New York. So to me, that kind of became my favorite Iron Man armor. I know a lot of people like the Mark 6 because it's got the triangular reactor in the middle. But I had to go with that one because like that big battle where he goes up into the sky and then falls back down, I just associate that with quintessential Iron Man now. So once I put the set together, I was like, this is just too cool. And then I kept collecting, and now I have nowhere to display any of these. So they all went to storage, and I'm sitting there. I'm like, the shelf height clearance you got to get some of these guys, especially with Hulk.
Yeah,
right? It just takes quite a bit to commit to that, and I'm just like, nope, can't do it anymore. I'll pull them out and rotate the display when I get a chance. But yeah, that was kind of the story behind that. And I did get an Iron Man Hall of Armor as well, but I started to get less attached to it. Like once the films were over, and I was like, well, I got a few of these armors now, and I'm like, I care, but it feels like it's like lost its relevance to me. And I start to think back like the comic characters, like, okay, then I'm more attached to those. But then as I got more attached to that, I was like, but those comic characters don't look like these ones. So I was like, but they still look great together in a group shot. But it's money I'll never get back. So that's kind of the I don't have a great story about how I came up with my channel name, so I figured I'd throw this up and come up with the sob story about how I pieced this together.
That Mark 7, that Mark 7 is hands down my favorite Iron Man armor.
Awesome.
I actually don't. I never cared for the triangular arc reactor.
Yeah.
And his more modern suits like the Mark 85 and the Mark 50, the nano suits.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool enough, but I like Iron Man to look more robotic, more like armor,
Yes.
less organic.
Yes.
So that Mark 7, that's
Right.
a beautiful piece there, man.
I appreciate that. A lot of people like the Mark 42, but I thought there was too much gold on it. And then I was like, no, he's got to have a better balance of the red and the gold. And I thought that the Mark 7 had the most classic design, but was also involved in the most iconic scenes. I'm like, it's got to be that one. It was hard to track down. I paid a few $100 for it back at the Fan Expo in 2014, and it was funny. This is in Canadian dollars, right? So minus 30% if you're going to go back to US. But like somebody had it for $500 at the Fan Expo back then, right? Which is pretty steep, right? And I think I offered the guy $450, and he basically told me to piss off. Like he was just pissed off I would even try. I walked down a few other stalls, and it was there for $400. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, okay,
perfect.
so is that the market value? And I kind of walked by with it in hand, and I looked at the guy that turned down my $450. I'm just like, have a good day, buddy. Like, just it was really nice meeting you, and I really hope you have a great sales day. And he just kind of looked at me like, what? And I didn't want to rub it in his face what I got it for, but I was just like, if somebody makes you an offer that's 90% of the price, and you treat him like he's just punched you in the gut, it's like, come on, have some sales courtesy, right? I didn't offer him $300. I went $450 on a $500 purchase, and I said, let's go cash, so you don't have to get hit with the fees and everything. And he was just like, no, it's not happening, no, not a chance, not $1 less. I'm like, okay, fine. So so that story came up, and
So what scale are these? I've never held one in person. I've never purchased one.
1/6,
But
1/6 scale.
Oh, okay, right. So that Hulk is huge.
16 inches. And, just because I knew you and Tony are big fans of him, I brought him.
Let me
brought him for the camera here.
let me bring it up.
It gave me an excuse to go into the garage and yank him out of storage because,
Oh, wow. Yeah, he is big.
Got that mean look. Well, I'm also not a very big guy, right? So if he's taller than me, then, whatever, right? So, right. The box is kind of a gargantuan as well. But if you're just comparing him next to Sarge here, which is a 6-inch.
Wow,
figure,
yeah, that is huge.
This is 16 inches, right? And I have to get him to crouch, and that's one of the reasons why I can't get him into these bookcases anymore, because I can either display all those GI Joes there, all these Mythic Legions and wrestlers here, or I can display this. Right. And I'm just like, well, I'll rotate the display. But he was on my shelves up until about a few months ago. And then I said, I need an excuse to pull out at least one of them again. And, your guys' Hulk love gave me an idea as to which one it was going to be. So, yeah. But if I'd known Ryan was big into that particular Iron Man suit, I would have yanked that one out as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Cool.
So with Ryan, with your collecting habits, does just anything go except for Funko Pops?
No, I try to stick to one scale, the 112 scale.
Right.
I used to be almost exclusively 3 3/4, just because I was primarily a Star Wars collector, and this is 20 plus years ago. But when Marvel Legends first landed in about 2001, 2002, I love those things. Those were like a dream come true for me with their articulation. Like it's everything I wanted as a kid.
Did you supplement them with the Spider-Man line as well? Spider-Man Classics, I think they were called?
So Spider-Man Classics came first, and that's what I started with. I had kind of been out of collecting for a few years because I was in my late teens, early 20s. And I went into a KB toy store for some reason. I was with a girlfriend at the time, and she went into a bookstore, and I said, okay, I'm going to go in this KB. And so I went in there, and I saw a Spider-Man Classics figure, the first Spider-Man, and I was like, what is this? This is so cool. And so I bought it, along with Fat Bastard, the McFarlane Fat Bastard, and Austin Powers.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I was a toy collector again. And so I started getting more into 6-inch, and then in 2013, Hasbro totally nerfed the 3 3/4 Star Wars line. They went up in price. They went back to 5 points of articulation, and
Yeah.
and so I started to dabble in the Black Series, and pretty soon I was all in on Black Series, and I was selling off all of my smaller scale 3 3/4. Now I love Hot Toys, I love them, but just that's another scale. They're $200 to $300 a piece retail, or more now probably. So I never got into those, but 6 inches my wheelhouse.
Yeah, so I remember when those Marvel Legends came out too, and I was all in. The Toad figure was a bit, take it or leave it, but that got me. I mean, I don't think I really ever stopped collecting action figures. I just was only picking up things that looked good. So for a while there wasn't really a lot that Star Wars was doing pretty well. So I might grab a couple of Star Wars stuff when they had a resurgence. But then, Spider-Man Classics really did open up the whole collecting habit, like a habit of collecting.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, I was all in on Marvel Legends, and I was picking up every wave that came out. I thought when they started doing the Builder figures, I thought that was a great idea. Brilliant idea. Galactus being a personal favorite. But I don't have any of those anymore. If ever the kids wanted to play with them, I was happy for them to do it. I wasn't really displaying them for the purpose of keeping them mint or whatever. I thought these are pretty cool action figures, and the kids want to have a play around, and I'm happy to do that too. It gives me an excuse to play with the toys as well,
Yeah.
And then after a while, I lost the passion for it, so I got rid of them. The only ones that I still do have are the Builder figures that I thought were pretty cool, like Fin Fang Foom, the Galactus I still have. I'm trying to think who. Apocalypse. So I've got a couple of them. Yeah, but I don't display those either. In fact, I don't really display anything other than even my Sarge display. It hasn't been fully put back up yet. But I don't have the mentality now to just solely collect action figures for display. I can look at like Ken's stuff, for instance, and be like, oh, that's really cool. Look at it from afar. But for a while, all I was dedicated to was picking up more Sergeant Slaughter action figures. I was like, well, that's fine. I'll just do that. All my money will go into picking up more and more Sergeant Slaughter figures, feed my obsession, and then pretty much just give up on everything else. Right? So up until recently, I only had the Action Force Sarge. I now have pretty much everyone from Wave 1. So that kicked off an obsession. But for me, let me just add this. This, thanks to Ken, who was able to get me quite a lot of these, is my new obsession. These guys. And so that's all. They're displayed right next to my bed at the moment. It's a temporary display. But for a while, I was like, okay, I've got to get the Sarge, who's next to Battle Cat there. So I've got to get that one. And then I was like, oh man, if I get this one, I want to get Man at Arms, because he was one of my favorites as a kid. I had a good story where my dad, my granddad gave me my first Man at Arms He-Man toys. I had some feelings of nostalgia for Man at Arms, and then before I knew it, it's ballooned into this. And I have more up there that I haven't even unboxed yet. I've got more coming from Ken, who will be sending me even more of these. But yeah, it's this has kicked off my new renaissance of collecting action figure lines. So we've got Action Force, and we've got Masters of the Universe and Masters of the WWE Universe all mixed in there. I think they all work well together. But I think the reason why I'm all in on these guys is because they look so much like the original ones, but with added articulation. Mm-hmm. So it hits me right in the nostalgia, because Buzz-Off I remember having as a kid as well, and this looks like the original Buzz-Off but with added articulation. That's a great idea. I love it.
Yeah, it looks like a great line. Now, even though I'm a kid of the 80s and 90s, I was kind of a weird kid, I guess, because I never cared for He-Man or Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But this line has tempted me because even though I didn't have them, all my friends had them. And so to see them on the shelf just brought back so many memories and nostalgia, for a line that I didn't even collect. And Mattel, they've done a great job. These look awesome. And the line's 2 years old, maybe?
Yeah, something like that. Two to three, something like that.
They've gone pretty deep with this line. And they're
the
easy
secondary
to find.
market on some of them are quite expensive too. So I only started collecting the line after I already got Sarge. So Sarge has only come out recently. So now I'm playing catch up and trying to pick up figures that have been on the pegs for 2 years or roughly thereabouts. And now I'm paying outside of retail to get something that if I had just jumped on when they first came out, I may have been, saving a few dollars here and there. Yeah, but
I got you covered.
Thanks, buddy.
I pulled aside your Jake the Snake Roberts. It's not going to the toy show tomorrow. So.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, that Orko there isn't the Origins one. That's a smaller scale one that I got at a EB Games. I'm trying to remember what line that is. But I think he scales well with these guys. I thought the Orko that comes in this line was a bit too big. What line was that? Ken, do you remember what I told you that Orko came from?
I was hoping you'd put Ryan on the spot because I don't actually know.
Yeah, Ryan, what's that one from?
Is that a what are they called? They come in the little boxes.
Yeah.
I don't remember the name, but
I think I've still got the box over here. I'll just go grab it.
Yeah.
Well, while he's doing that, Ken, did I just hear you say you've got a Masters of the Universe Jake the Snake Roberts that you're sending to Zazel?
Yes, and I might have gotten more than one.
Why is that?
Whoops.
What's my surname?
I know. I asked you on the live stream what your favorite wrestler was, and you said he's a Roberts. I'm a Roberts. So yes, and I remember you saying that was your favorite wrestler, and I'm like, wait a minute.
I saw Jake the Snake just a couple weeks ago.
Right, yeah, he's doing pretty well considering. Yeah,
he was at a toy show doing a signing. I passed by his booth. I had no desire for an autograph, but you look pretty good for his age.
Well, he was back managing for a couple of years there in AEW, right? So everyone was surprised to see him. So he's doing his thing. And he even tried to bring a snake to the ring to help his protege beat Cody Rhodes, and then Mike Tyson jumped over the guardrail and chased him up the ramp. It was one of the most epic things.
Oh wow!
Unfortunately, it was during the COVID crowd, so there was hardly anyone in attendance. But I just remember this feels like old school wrestling right here. Mike Tyson chasing Jake the Snakes up the ramp while a guy with the last name of Rhodes is in the ring going against Jake the Snake's protege. I'm like, this is old school wrestling right now. So loving it. Yeah. But anyway, I'll shut up before I go through another 2 hours of talking nonstop.
No, that's all right, Ken. I always say I love your energy.
Yeah. You got to tranquilize me once I start talking.
Zazel, I just sent you a picture of me doing my best Jake the Snake Roberts impression.
Holy shit! Okay, give me a sec. I'll see if I can. Give me a sec. I'll bring it. I'll bring that up. Give me a moment. One moment, please. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I do this.
I was just gonna cue up some Jeopardy music or something while we wait. But we can talk amongst ourselves.
Yeah, good.
I still got to get used to this because, in 2021, one of the channels that I watched almost daily while catching up in the catalog was Analog Toys. So I'm used to just hearing Tony's voice blare out at the camera. I'm still not used to this two-way thing. I think I said the same thing to Bobby last time too, because I would catch all his updates and everything. And what happened was on YouTube, I think if you're not logged in or you don't use a Google account, you can't actually comment. I don't think. Yeah. So for years, I'd watch Retro Blasting, I'd watch some Analog Toys and some Edge Retro Geek Out, and I'd never comment. Then I created my own channel, and I'm like, hey, the comment section is active. And then all of a sudden I started I can actually put my thoughts down, and hopefully hopefully not be like, why is he commenting on this video that's like 3 years old or 4 years old or something like that. But as I've learned, it happens.
Just before we jumped on this stream to start recording, I had a guy. This is really nice comment. He says it was a G.I. Joe review, I think. Trying to think what video it was. It might have been my review of like the transportable tactical battle platform or something. I made that video 5 years ago, and he's like, "These videos are awesome. Keep them coming." And I'm like, "Well, I've been doing it for another 5 years, so I'm trying."
Well, sometimes the comments are a bit on the funny side, and it's like I think you were doing a Pallet Talk, I think, Tony, with Michael French, where you said somebody put a comment that said, "This sounds like it was recorded on a toilet" or something, and then you said you laughed, and then you ended up keeping that up. And I think you said something like, I don't know if you remember the comment that you mentioned, because I was watching that as trying to get inspiration for my YouTube stuff. So I watched YouTube Talk.
I do remember that. That was on my A-Team video, which is one, in the first. So I actually had a lot of really good camera equipment and microphones from when I made the Story of Action Man documentary. And when we moved to the town that we live in now, when we first moved here, we've been here like 2 weeks, and I had been working here on like a fly-in, fly-out basis for a couple of years already, so I knew a lot of people here. So we've been here about 2 weeks, and we have this housewarming party, and I invite all these people from work so that my wife can meet some of the other wives and make some friends. And we had someone walked into our house at 10 o'clock at night while we're all, because it was really hot here, we're all out, all the adults are out in the backyard. My son came out into the backyard at 10 o'clock at night and he's like, "Dad, I think your friend's here." And I'm like, "No, the party started at 5 o'clock. Everyone who was invited is here." And he went, "Well, some man just came in the house and told me to shush."
Oh,
I'm
shit.
like, "What?" And my son had heard him come through the front door. He'd walked in, seen him in the hallway. The first room on the right where you walked in was like an open plan study. And I had 2 video cameras on tripods, and he just grabbed those. And I didn't even know they were gone for 2 or 3 days. But we were sort of quite shaken up by this. I lost like $10,000 worth of camera equipment. I lost my wedding video that I had not gotten around to editing for the wife. So that's still a contentious issue. So when it wasn't long later, I was like starting the channel, and I'm like, man, I had like a $5,000 professional video camera and another like $2,000 camera microphone. I'm going to start from scratch. I did the first few videos on a phone. Then I bought a video camera. Yeah, and one of them, like, the audio wasn't great. And yeah, this guy commented that the audio sounds like I recorded it while I was sitting on the toilet. And I thought it was very rude, but I also found it so funny that I've left that comment on the channel for 5 years now. It's still there if you find it.
So the reason I brought that comment up, actually, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that you had that story about your equipment getting stolen like that. Wow.
It's scary because your son was in the house. I mean, lucky for him, it was only the cameras that he took. So, yeah, that's frightening.
Scary.
So the comment that happened to me was kind of a similar situation. I did my evolution of toys, Transformers, talking about through the ages, how it is. And someone left a comment telling me that I had bastardized the use of the word evolution and how it doesn't fit with what Darwin's theory of evolution, and how he had like a different title for me. And I thought it was very rude, and I started laughing. I went to delete it, and I just realized, no, I had just watched this retro blasting and analog toys thing. It was a really funny comment about the toilet. If he can take that one on the chin, I'm going to take this one on the chin. And that comment's still up like 10 months later or however long it's been. And I'm pretty sure that's the one dislike that I got on that video, even though it's got like maybe 2,000 views and about 80 or 100 likes. I'm sure that's the one dislike. And I'm like, whatever. I need thicker skin to stay in this hobby anyway. So,
Yeah.
Well, I get a bunch of people come onto the channel sometimes trying to convince me that Sergeant Slaughter was a traitor to his country and, all that Iraqi sympathizer stuff. And I was like, well, it happened. in kayfabe it happened, not in real life, obviously, not in real life. But that's a part of the history, and I can't very well start deleting those comments because that happened. He was a heel in that sense. Did it very well, like I always say. He did a great job of it. Too well for Kelly's liking, but
well, you can say, yeah, they laughed all the way to the bank.
All the way to the bank, correct?
Main event at a WrestleMania.
That was my dad's favorite thing to say, and it drove me crazy.
Yeah.
But now you get it.
Now I get it, but back then I was like, "What are you talking about? We don't go to the bank."
I go away from the bank in tears. Yeah.
Thanks, Bobby Fowler.
Yeah, well.
My son's been eating 2-minute noodles every meal for 6 months.
Oh man,
I'm really curious how you got involved in this channel. Where did that all start?
Well, I was on some Facebook group for like old school wrestling, and I think Zazel was also on that group, and he posted something about his Facebook group with a link to it. And I was like, what is this? So I clicked on it and I was like, what is this? And so I joined it, and then I saw it and I was like, I don't really understand what's going on here, but they're fans, so it's okay. I'll allow it. And then I answered a couple questions, and I think Zazel actually challenged me on one of my answers. Do you remember this, Zazel? And I went, well, I just asked the man himself, and you were like, oh my God, I didn't even see your last name. It didn't even occur to me. I was like, dude, it's fine.
Well,
totally fine.
Yeah. I don't remember what that was, but okay. If you put me in my place, I was like,
I don't
fine.
remember either. But he was sitting right next to me, and I was like, hey, Dad, do you remember blah, 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 whatever the question was? And he answered it. And so then I answered it. And then you were like, actually, I think it was blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I just asked him. He's sitting right next to me.
Yeah. It was about who your dad thought had the best beard on YouTube.
He said it was Ryan, and I challenged him.
Right.
Well, I do remember. So there was actually there was one. So it's the Sergeant Slaughter's Slaughterhouse Facebook group, where a bunch of us just pretty much post exclusively pictures or links to stuff that is Sergeant Slaughter related. So when Kelly came on there, one of the I don't remember challenging you in anything, Kelly. That's I'll have to go back and have a look for that. But the one that I do remember was because I buy a lot of signatures, like signed stuff, and somebody produced a picture that had a signature that they were told when they bought it or when they obtained it that it was Sergeant Slaughter's real signature. And all I did was look at it and go, well, I don't know for certain, but that looks nothing like any of the signatures that I have. And then Kelly chimed in on that one and said that it wasn't. It was a forgery, not even a good one either. It was very bad. Yeah. No,
it looked like a little kid did it. In fact, I was like, is that my handwriting? And then I was like,
yeah. Kelly's got a side hustle where she's selling her dad's stuff and she's signing it.
So then after that, then Zazel asked me to do the voice of the AI for an episode. So I did that, and then that turned into, hey, I'm going to do this show on YouTube. Will you be part of it? And I said, sure. I don't know what it is about, but sure.
We still don't know what it's about. We make it up as we go along.
As long as I can contribute to the conversation, I will be on.
Well,
Kelly, Look at us four nerds. You just make the place look pretty, all right? Just
there we go. Yeah. There we go.
You do what you do.
That's true.
Did you just call me a nerd?
Yes, Ryan.
An honorary badge.
I was going to interject earlier, right? When we were talking about Funko Pops, and Kelly was like, "Hey, what's wrong with Funko Pops? You did the nerdiest thing ever. You talked to a grown woman. You got a figure off the shelf, and you went, yeah, well, you see, I like to be able to pose." And I'm like, oh, dude.
You caught that too. I was like, oh
ninjas
my
that
god.
can pose, okay?
That's amazing.
And
They're action figures.
I literally became the comic book guy from The Simpsons in that moment.
Yeah. True.
But the rest of
when
us are like,
Zazel-
I get it.
When Zazel was asking you earlier about, getting into Legends and Spider-Man classics, you're like, I went to this mall one day with my girlfriend, and she went into this one shop, so I went into KB, and I came out with a McFarlane, what was it, the Fat Man and Spider-Man, and I thought, did she break up with you by the time you got
No. That
Did
came
you know-
later.
Yeah. See, the benefit for me with my wife is that I didn't become a toy collector during our marriage. She just,
Right.
I mean, I wasn't, I don't walk up to girls I like and go, "Hey, my name is Tony. I collect dolls."
Want to play with my toy?
Yeah, no. I'm much more like.
Want to play with my 6-inch?
Well, back then, I was only collecting 12-inch Kelly. So.
Okay, you want to play with my 12-inch?
Boy, she was really let down then, huh?
I'll bring out the high socks.
Ryan, I commend you. I throw some shade, and that was an excellent comeback. I've got to take that one right on the chin. Yes, she was disappointed.
Oh man,
I
used to keep-
completely lost my train of thought.
But
We all did.
onto Ryan going off into the toy store while his girlfriend went to the bookstore. I used to keep, when I was a teenager, I used to keep my action figure collecting habits like pretty private and personal. And there was one day where I was going to a water park in WA, and along the way, we had to take a bus there. And along the way, we stopped at somewhere that had a toy store that I'd never been to before. And I couldn't not go in there. So I was like, I had to make a decision. I was like, I need to just fess up that I'm into action figures so I can go into this toy store and come out with something potentially, and then have it with me for the day while we're off to, what's it called? Adventure World?
Yep.
Anyway.
Adventure World in Bibber Lake.
Adventure World, right? Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to go in here, and everyone's like, why? I was like, it's a long story, but I want to go and have a look. I ended up walking out with a Hawkeye figure from the Avengers cartoon line, and then after that, I found out that actually a couple of the friends that I was with were into other hobbies, like they were into Warhammer stuff and other things that would be considered nerdy that they hadn't talked about. So it really opened up a whole bunch of more conversation to do with, things that we were privately into that we weren't so public about. Then after that, I thought, oh, well, stuff it. I collect toys. I don't care. Comic books, all of that good stuff. Everything except girlfriends. But hey, I wanted to show something that I picked up recently. It's so dumb. Like I went to the pub and had a couple of beers, and then right next to the pub is a toy store. So I was like, why not? So I literally picked this up after being a little bit tipsy, and I don't know why. I don't know why I love it, but I love it. And it's where's the camera? Hang on, Sarge.
Oh yeah.
It's a mammoth with a saddle that can fit my Sarge on it. And the saddle comes off and the helmet comes off. Yeah, I don't know why I wanted it, but I needed it, and now I have it. And then I sobered up, and I was like, why did I buy this? And then I opened it up, and I was like, you know what? This is actually pretty cool. It's like Dino Riders, but with Joe scale, obviously, yeah. But this comes off, and that comes off if you want it to just be a mammoth, like a normal mammoth. But why would you want that? It's got guns on it. Articulated.
That's not the strangest thing I've bought after a few beers, but
Right. Yes.
I'll
Well,
take
you've
that
been
for another
abroad.
stream.
Yeah.
Did you did you get that photo of me doing my Jake the Snake
Oh yeah,
impression?
I've got it ready to go. Oh, before I do that, it's Loyal Subjects was the Masters of the Universe.
There you go.
Uh,
Yep.
okay.
Loyal subjects.
Right. So they're pretty cool. All right, here we go.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Where was
He
that
was-
taken?
In Thailand. He
Right.
was a great conversationist. I think I talked to him for 3 hours, maybe.
Probably a great kisser too.
I tried to play pool with him around my neck, but no one would play pool against me.
Yeah. That's how many drinks have you had by this point, or?
Oh, this is like day 3. So
Yeah. And did you just collect it off the side of the street, or what?
no, they had this girl would carry it around, and you could get photo opportunities with it. And I paid her like $100 to rent it for like 2 hours. I just wanted to sit with this snake for a couple of hours, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Go around showing people your python. Yeah.
but for a Thai girl who walked around with a snake and a Polaroid camera, trying to make money taking photos, this is the blurriest photo I've got on my entire phone. She was not actually a very good photographer.
No, but still, how much did that cost to get a blurry photo?
I would have overpaid for it for sure.
Yeah, they wait till everyone's drunk and then they walk in with a snake, and you'll pay anything at that point.
Yeah.
And the picture looks in focus when you're drunk.
Well, when you're drunk, that's right. That is so true. Is that looking focused to you now, Kelly?
It does.
That means I need another beer.
That's great. Well, that's what. Yeah, if you're gonna go with the last name Roberts, you have to at least have one photo of you with a snake, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Oh, man, I still need to get myself a Castle Grayskull.
Oh, you still haven't gotten the Origins one?
No. My brother's got 2, and I'm telling him he doesn't need 2. I said, what kind of idiot has more than one of the same thing? I say as I have currently over 300 Sergeant Slaughter action figures. Just give me one, mate. I'll buy it. Don't be a hoarder.
I've been debating about how I can get the one I've got to you, and it could be a situation because the box was so big that the international shipper that I was using wouldn't take it. But then I wondered if I was to open the box, toss the box out, maybe cut out part of the art for you, and then just try to see if I could ship it loose. I don't know if it would work better or not, but
I'm not sure.
There's got to be a way.
How much empty space is in it? Like if you opened it and then put everything else that you were sending me into the box, would that
work?
They
won't even take that. They won't even take that box.
Oh, the size of the box, right?
So that's what I've been wondering. But I don't know if it's the dimensions of the box or the weight that they're rejecting.
Gotcha.
And I could go to Canada Post, but then it would cost like $177 just to ship it or something. And I'm just at that point, you may as well bribe your brother.
Yeah, well, like I think he paid $200 for his, or maybe a bit less.
Yeah.
But I know every time I look for one online, we were just admiring your Castle Grayskull there, Desert Rat, Tony.
Yeah.
It's a good looking castle. But
got point on the top.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
So you have a brother that collects toys.
Yeah, so I've got 2 brothers that do. My older brother probably collects the most out of all of us, and with a huge range of different things. So he's got the Funko Pops. He's also got the I'm trying to think what they're called. Like he's got a lot of vintage stuff. He's got a lot of modern stuff. He's got some of the McFarlane stuff, some statue stuff. If it's Voltron, he'll want it. If it's Astro Boy, he'll need it. But yeah, like just a lot of different things. And my younger brother will just cherry pick stuff. And, if he buys one for his son, he'll pick one up for himself and just sort of keep it. And sometimes he'll pick up stuff because his son might like it later, or he'll pick up stuff because he just likes the look of it, and then can decide if he wants to sell it later on. So I guess he's more of in the investment side of it. So I think that's the only reason I can say that he got 2 Castle Grayskulls, because he hasn't opened either one of them and won't let me have one. So,
Well, do you like having family members that collect? I mean, my brother, he thinks I'm an idiot. He's not totally wrong, but he looks at all this stuff, and he looks at all this stuff, and he's like, "What are you doing? Like, what has your life become? You have a room full of toys, and you're 40 years old." I'm like,
and
yeah,
and
Guilty
what have you got?
Right?
What have you got going for you? So the benefit of having brothers for me that are close to age for me. So my older brother is 15 months older. My younger brother is 4 years younger. So very similar ages. And the best thing about that for us when we were growing up was that your toy collection multiplies by twofold, threefold. Christmas time, if you're getting, so for Masters of the Universe, for instance, actually I think I've just got that photo still. Let me show you. The good thing about it is that my brother, because I liked He-Man and he liked He-Man, so we both were able to get Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain, and I've got it here somewhere. I wonder if it's in this one. Disregard. There it is.
That's a great.
So that's me and my brother. We've got Snake Mountain. We've got Castle Grayskull. We're also playing with Care Bears at the same time. We didn't care. Everything went. So yeah, I mean we had more. Like with Dino Riders, everyone liked Dino Riders. So we had what was essentially our Dino Riders, mine that I would get as a gift. But if your brothers liked you that day, you could play with theirs as well, or you could all play together, and enhance your experience, your playtime. It's like always having a friend, basically, that's coming over to play. It's also always having an enemy that you live with too.
Yeah, there we go.
It goes both ways. Yeah.
My brother hated me. He was 6 years older than me. Well, he still is.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. You haven't caught up yet, mate.
Yeah, he's 6 years older than me. So when he was 10, 11, I'm 4 and 5, and so I would just I broke so many of his Transformers, and he'd build a Lego space set, and I'd come in and smash it. And
yeah. Fuck
he
you,
was
dude.
not my biggest fan.
Right,
Let's have your brother on the show.
My brother's 6 years older, but he was. I don't remember him really being into toy. I remember him like when I was growing up in the 80s. He was really into music. He started roller skating. He was roller skating all the time. He was collecting Madonna albums, and we didn't like or dislike each other. The age gap was to the point where we had nothing to do with each other, pretty much. We then started to get really close when I was probably in my early 20s and he was in his kind of late 20s. It's like we probably didn't feel about each other anyway prior to that, and then we became really good friends. But I'm just wondering with your, I know you've got a cousin that used to steal G.I. Joes off of Ryan.
Yes.
Zazel, he's got 2 brothers who collect. The best family story here is still sitting with Kelly. Her dad is Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
And she's attentively listening to us.
I am.
Yeah.
I am. And I'm just thinking that my sister and I, she is 4 years older than me, and we horribly fought. She likes to remind me that she always was the one defending herself. I was the aggressor.
Right. Yeah, I believe it.
And I beat her ass all the time. And she's older than me. She's always been the more sensitive one.
Right.
But my kids are about 6 years apart, and they do not get along at all. My son is older, and he loves my daughter and wants to hold her, give her hugs and affection, and she's like, get away from me. So I feel kind of bad for him because he just wants to love her, and she's like, go away.
Yeah.
I will say though, Kelly, that when you do have to talk about toys, despite the fact you say you're not a collector, you really do bring the heat, because I'm still licking my wounds from the 4-way debate we had about the greatest toy line ever, and how how convicted you were that it was Barbie. It had to be Barbie. You came dressed, you had your argument prep, you had all this conviction on camera, and I'm still sore that Zazel put me on right after you. You know, Kelly makes a great argument, drops the mic, and it's like, okay, Ken, your turn. Huh?
It was supposed to be a friendly debate, and Kelly came in swinging. So, yeah, we were unprepared with the barrage of her knowledge of Barbie and her convictions around it. And then the argument was like, well, I can't argue with that. And I think I can understand where your sister's coming from, which is like, yeah, you know, you're the aggressor.
Well,
for sure.
Azazel, I left camera a few times to go cry, if you recall. So it's like,
yeah. I did all my tears live, so I let it happen. But no, Kelly,
what can I say? Barbie speaks for herself. I mean, do I need to go through this again and shame you guys again? She has 200 careers, and she's only 63 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I still won't accept defeat, even if I had my ass thoroughly kicked. You know.
What was that line that you said, Kelly? Where the size of Sergeant Slaughter compared to Barbie?
Size does matter.
Yeah.
You can't have like this little G.I. Joe and big Barbie.
Yeah.
Size matters. It's not to scale.
Yeah. I think that won your argument alone. Yeah.
I was like, size matters.
I think I could present
and
a
then
pretty
Zazel,
solid
you were
argument.
like, well, to be fair, that is the smallest one. The smallest G.I. Joe. I was like, whatever.
What would your argument be, Tony?
No, I think I could put forward a pretty solid argument that Barbie's the greatest toy line ever.
Okay.
I went to go buy G.I. Joes for my son for Christmas, and there weren't any. But guess what there was? Barbie.
Yeah.
Kelly, you know where this is going. There were also Transformers. You know where this is. We're just gonna go in circles here.
So, did you want to present an argument, Tony?
Look, you know, Barbie paved the way for everything.
Mm-hmm.
1950. I mean, how many toy lines can you talk about actually go back to the 50s, not even the 60s? 1959 comes out, revolutionizes the way that children play. G.I. Joe would never have come out in an original 12-inch scale if it wasn't for Barbie. Mm-hmm. They took that same scale. They made the figure articulated because they thought, boys are going to want to pose the figure, whereas girls wanted to dress the figure. I would argue that us boys did want to dress the figures as well. You know, you wanted to. You know,
I didn't mind undressing a Barbie or two, but yeah,
we were more kidding them up for equipment and all that kind of thing. But yeah, just the cultural impact of Barbie that literally dates back 63 years now. It was ahead of its time, absolutely ahead of its time. Not everything about Barbie has really aged that well, you know, with what am I thinking? But Barbie gets a lot of flack for this perception for females for, you know, the way the body should look and stuff like that. Yeah, and I was like, take your argument and flush it down the toilet. I grew up with He-Man.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to look like?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think my sister would probably argue that Gem and the Rockers are better, but hey, she's still angry that I stole her rockin' roadster and turned it into a German staff car. But,
oh, there you go.
It was Barbie and the Rockers and Gem and the Holograms.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Kelly comes swinging again.
I actually thought it, but I didn't want to say it because you'd be like, Ken, you've been studying since your defeat.
See, Kelly, you still got it.
Damn.
Even after a few drinks. You're still on point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Desert Rat
I
got
was I was
That
about
was
to
my
demand a
jam. Barbie and the Rockers, and then there was Gem. I loved both of them. They were great.
with you being drunk, I was going to demand a rematch right here and now, but I see that would still be a bad
No.
idea on my part.
No, it's probably to your detriment that I've been drinking, actually, because then I really go in hard.
You put me so far off base that I actually tried to use Michael Bay Transformers as part of my argument as to why Transformers are great. Like, who does that? Who does that? You know?
No, thank you.
It was definitely fun. That was a fun show. I had a good time. I always have a good time on here with you.
Are you a Transformers guy?
Oh, maybe.
Zazel, you never told me this before I came on the stream.
Well, look, to be fair, Ken's a pretty much everything fan. Transformers just happened to be one of them.
Hey,
Yeah.
I made the
Peace
mistake of saying that the Transformers cartoon had a good story on the last 3 POA podcasts, and Tony let me have it.
Yeah, that's his Transformers there.
Wow.
So yeah, you were saying?
This is the other wall.
Yeah.
Hang
on, let me
that just for me.
Let's just have a. Oh.
Yeah, there's a bit of mask up there too, like you can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a couple Transformers in this room, 1 or 2.
So, what scale are they, Ken?
They are the I don't know. I just buy these things. Yes, it drove me nuts as a kid playing with these without the scale, and I was hoping somebody wouldn't lobby that argument against me during the 4-way debate, and they didn't. They didn't need to because
you brought up Michael Bay and lost the argument for yourself.
Basically, yeah, and I walked off camera at a wine while I was doing it. So I mean, So yeah, Transformers, it's a love-hate thing, right? Because you're trying to play with, you get so excited to get these combiners. You put them all together. You're like, yeah, I got the big robot, and you're like, it's not that big, The robot it's supposed to tower over is like 2/3 of the size. What's going on here? And by that point, you're committed. You've asked your parents for the 5 robots. Now you have to love it, right? So that's the dark side of collecting Transformers.
I was really let down as a kid when I got Devastator by the size of Devastator because I was like, oh, there's like 5 of these and they all combine. I was thinking in my mind they're all like going to be the size of Optimus Prime and then all combine. No, not at all.
Yeah,
I do have really I've got the.
You were devastated by Devastator. I don't even know what Devastator looks like.
Hang on, I'll grab mine. I've got it right here. Hang on.
I've got mine. Okay, you're gonna get yours. He's green. He's a bunch of construction vehicles, and yeah.
It's oh, his arm's falling off, but I got this one.
Is that the Combiner Wars version?
Yeah,
that's the basically Combiner Wars version.
It was just sitting in a box, so it's one of his arms must have fallen up in there.
That's all good.
I'm not devastated by it.
Very cool.
When did that come out?
This one must have been like maybe 10 years ago.
Not quite that long ago. Probably, maybe not even 5 years ago. I don't think. I want to say it's 2018.
Feels like
Combiner Wars. I think it's 2018.
Maybe 8 years. Feels like it's been a while.
Is it? Okay.
This isn't the original. So this tower's over the original one.
Yeah.
The original one was maybe half the size of that. And flimsy.
Basically, yeah. Yeah.
Turned into show and tell.
There we go. Back to grade school.
Yeah. I've got a big transformer. What have you got? Or only all of these? Yeah, okay, Ken.
No comment.
Is that MP1?
I was traumatized at show and tell as a kid.
Oh, yeah, tell us that story.
There we go.
I brought, so for show and tell in the first grade, I brought in my dad's G.I. Joe. And I held it up and I was like, this is my dad. I was so excited and proud. And this little boy goes, and they were all like silent, like it was like crickets. And I'm like holding it up. And this little boy goes, your dad is plastic. I was like, no. This is him. Like, this is my dad. It didn't go over well. I was traumatized. I don't think I ever showed anything else at show and tell ever again.
They were unimpressed.
But now you got your dad appearing on your channel, so you're good.
My kid traumatized me.
Uh-oh.
I said, look at this. Your dad has an action figure. Huh? He's holding his Nintendo. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm going to take this knife out of my back. I'll be right back. Felt horrible. He did not care at all. Little bastard.
So my youngest son is 16 now, but I was recently filming one of the episodes of the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship, which is basically when I grab toys and I make them be toys against each other. Anyway, I've got this whole setup over there, and I'm about to record, and my son will walk in and he goes, wow, is this the Slaughterhouse? Is this the behind the scenes? Wow. You know, just really being sarcastic about it. It's like, wow. I'm getting a first-hand look at the magic behind the Slaughterhouse. This is amazing. Like, just go away. Get out of here.
Stop rubbing it in.
Tell him to start recording it so we can really actually see behind the scenes. Tell him to send it to me, and I'll.
Yeah. I'll start. Yeah, I'll put it out as my son trying to shame me. I'll put that out onto the internet. Yeah, that'll make me feel better. But he does it every time. Every time he'll walk out into the lounge room and go, "Oh wow!" And then he'll look at it and go, "Wow, is this it? Is this the behind the scenes?" It's like, just fuck off. Daddy's playing with toys. So
You're
Ryan, how old is your kid, Ryan?
He's 12.
Right, is he into toys or no?
Yeah, he is. Yeah. I mean, I think he really prefers his Nintendo, right?
Sure.
But absolutely, and a lot of that's because of me. You know, I mean, I've always kind of pushed him to complete a collection. Like he really likes Ben 10, right? And so whenever I would go to the store to look for toys, he'd be with me and he'd look at the stuff he likes. And so maybe he's going to pick out a Ben 10. I'm like, oh, well, you don't have this one or this one either. You got to get these two. You got to complete the collection. He's like, I'm like, you got to get these. And so I would buy them anyway.
You want these. Trust me, you want these. Yeah.
It's just that toy collector, like OCD, you know?
Yeah.
But now he's like that even with like his Pokemon cards.
Okay.
And Lego sets. He's really into the Mario Lego sets, Mario Brothers Lego sets. And he wants to collect them all. So yeah, he is into toys.
Well, there you go.
And in that moment, Tony realized that he wishes Ryan was his dad.
I buy my kids toys he doesn't even want.
Yeah. Nobody's buying me a complete set. Yeah. Good stuff. So my son loves Nintendo too. The Mario Kart is currently my enemy. I thought I was good at Mario Kart 8. I thought I was good at it. I thought I was good at Mario Kart to begin with. But I have not legitimately won a game of Mario Kart against my son since we've got the game. And I thought that I would at least be able to win, maybe a couple. But he's just too good at it. And he's like, let me build you a kart that I would use so that you've got the best kart. Maybe you're just not, the stats are wrong. I was like, all right, cool. Put down whatever. And then I'll still lose. And I'll go, let's you keep your car that you're winning on, pass me the controller, you use my one, and maybe I'll win then. And he will still beat me with the cart that I was losing on. Sometimes he'll give me a head start. Like he's given me a full lap head start before and is still caught up. I didn't realize I was so bad at the game.
It really hurts when they start beating you at games you grew up on, like Mario Kart, Super Mario Brothers. Like he's starting to get better than me. And I don't like it one bit.
I'm glad. All my kid plays is Plants vs Zombies on the tablet, and I'm like, you take that and you go over there. But
I'm
I did
starting
have
to
a
question
cousin.
if I was ever any good.
Yeah.
Maybe I've never been good.
But I did have a
Kids can-
cousin that could beat me with every character in Street Fighter back on the Super Nintendo days. He'd be like, "You pick your Ryu, or you pick Ken," because Ken had to pick Ken, and he would
Of
beat my
course,
ass with Blanca. He'd beat my ass with Dalzim. He'd beat my ass with anyone, and he'd just be playing possum with me. I'm like, well, why do I even bother? I can beat the computer all day long. But my cousin wiped the floor with me. It's just, what do you do, right?
Yeah. I'm surprised you don't wear more red, Ken. Like really commit to it.
Well, the alternate color was blue, right? If you pick the player 2
Yeah.
version of him, so
There you go.
See, there you go.
Ken. Yep.
It's not the Soda Toys version, is it, Ryan?
No, this is SH Figure Arts.
I say okay, fair enough.
Damn, that does look good though.
Yeah.
I had the Soda version back in the day, but SH has them beat. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Kids can be so brutal though. When I was working in Iraq doing private security, like after I left the military, I was doing private security. The accommodation I was living in, one of the places where I worked, like a long demountable building, you'd like big hallway down the middle, and there was like I think 8 rooms on each side. And I don't think we had good Wi-Fi there, but basically all these guys there, we had Xboxes, and we were playing Call of Duty or something like that. And we literally had an Ethernet cable coming out of everyone's room to a central hub in the middle of the hallway so we could play against each other. And I thought I was pretty good. When my son turns like 9 years old, he gets a PlayStation for Christmas, and we buy Call of Duty, and I start playing with him, and it's his first time ever playing it, and I'm like, I was really good at this game when I used to play with it. He decimates me in like 3 games, and he's like, and you reckon you were in the special forces?
Oh wow!
Like, he didn't challenge my gaming ability. You're supposed to be this well-trained soldier, and I'm like, yeah, son.
He went personal.
Real soldiering is not like Call of Duty. You can't just keep running flat out. When do these guys stop for a piss or a poo? Yeah.
He says, "You consider yourself a man?"
Yeah.
It was that kind of disdain. He was just like, I seriously, I think he still thinks I've been lying to him my whole life.
That's why the documentary's coming out. It's just to prove it to your son. The whole
He won't
thing.
even watch it though.
Yeah,
we can't win either way with him.
Jeez.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, kids are cruel, but
Yeah.
I've already had them. It's too late now.
At least I know they're still making Call of Duty games. I think I quit after Black Ops 2, so nice to know they're still out there. At least if I wanted to get back in. So.
Yeah.
Well, Tony doesn't let him buy those games anymore. So they're banned in the house.
He's into NBA basketball and stuff now. He plays basketball.
Oh, cool.
With his friends online, and we have to walk past his bedroom door to use we've got a 3-story house, so we've got a toilet and a bathroom upstairs, but the main living area is down here, and we walk past his room to go to the toilet, and like he's 15 turning 16 in a few months, and some of the language that comes out of that boy's room. He'll walk past his room to go to the toilet, and he'll be there, and he's talking to his friends online. He's like, F you, yeah, F it. Yeah. And I'm thinking, yeah, I was probably doing the same thing when I was 15, I mean, I watched Full Metal Jacket when I was 8 years old, so
Wow.
There's some language in that film.
I know me and my brothers, when we were playing Mario or whatever, we'd curse each other out if we stuffed up. Like we're trying to get through because you go Mario and then Luigi. And then if someone's doing better than you, you sort of like nudge the controller just to really fuck with them. And then and so, you'll get a few swear words then, but you'll also probably get a controller around the head because you're in close proximity.
See, and that's the problem with modern social media. These people can comment on your YouTube videos or your Facebook posts,
Right.
And you can't whack them round the head with a Nintendo controller.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
It's giving people the right to, be assholes without consequence. But
some of the comments are just like I had somebody complain about the way I cut the tape on one of my Valorverse Action Force figures. It's like, hey, nobody
if you
cut the
have
tape.
ever seen Ken open up a box, it is mind-boggling.
Okay,
it
but
is.
still.
It's like Freddy Krueger hacking at a body. It's just, I don't know, man. I wasn't the one that commented it, but I have said publicly that it's ridiculous. It gives me anxiety watching him open a toy. I've never seen anyone do it like that. It's mind-boggling. It doesn't even look like it makes it easier for you either. It looks like you're literally making it harder.
That's why all
wish I had a
things are
clip
on
of it.
Patreon.
Yeah. If I had a clip of that, I'd show it. It's maddening. It just makes no sense.
Okay, so maybe that one commenter had a point, but still, I've got a platform to whine, so I'll whine.
So if I can, I'll give you a demonstration just real quick, right? So say he wants to open this box and he wants to cut through the tape. So instead of just using the sharp edge of a blade or the sharp edge of the scissors and just cut across, he will use scissors like scissors and snip at the tape, snip into it. It's like, why? And that's just the beginning of the whole process. It's a whole thing. It's an event. Watching Ken open a box is an event.
This might sound like a really odd question, but for the action figure collectors on the screen here, do you open your action figure boxes from the top or the bottom?
Top.
Top.
Every time. Top.
So I used to, when I was a kid and super into Star Wars, I used to. This doesn't really answer your question, but I'm going to go down the story anyway. I used to pretend that the action figure was in carbonite, like frozen in carbonite, and I'm shipping the action figure back to the location, which would be my house, and then I'd have all the action figures around it for the I guess the thawing out and open up the bubble or whatever it is they're in and release them into the environment, the land environment. But from the top is where I open the boxes from. Yeah, just long story to say from the top.
So, I think most collectors have OCD of some level of OCD. It's part of being a collector, I think. I cannot open a figure from the top. I've never been able to do it. The reason being, I've often held on to boxes wanting to be able to put the figures back in at one time for display or transportation or whatever. And by opening them at the bottom, I can put it back in, put it on a shelf, and you can still see the sealed tape on the top. True. So I meticulously did this with the 40-plus Action Force figures I've acquired in the last 6 months. But because I'm getting ready to move house in the next couple of weeks and I'm boxing stuff up, I've got a few Action Force figures that I'm going to keep sealed in the box. I've got my Slammer up there, stuff like that. But I had a box full of Valorverse boxes, and I was like, well, you may as well get rid of these because I know I'm not going to put these figures back in the box. I know I'm not going to sell them.
Right.
Then all of a sudden I realized, right, I've got to dispose of like 30-plus Action Force figure boxes. I was really excited to see Bobby reintroduce file cards and action points.
Right,
Until I had to cut them all out before I threw the boxes. I spent like an hour and a half on Friday morning cutting out these file cards. And by the end of it, I was like, what a dumb idea, Bobby. I
think it's a great idea that they do have the file cards on there and the action points. Like, I can't believe G.I. Joe aren't doing them. It's madness that they aren't doing their own thing. And you don't even get a cross-sell or any of that. And I think just looking at the back of the Action Force Sarge now, you've got a great cross-sell of characters. You've got the bios. You've got the points for whatever they will end up being. Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. Good classic action figure stuff. So when you've got an action figure on the bubble, then Tony, how do you release it from its bubble? Have you got a OCD for that?
I do. Whichever side of the card the bubble is on, I cut it down the side and along the bottom and peel it out.
Okay.
Because when I was collecting Action Force International Heroes, which is that's when like Palatoy had gone away in 85 in the UK. In 87, they were literally just bringing G.I. Joe, a Real American Hero, to the UK, but calling it Action Force.
Mm-hmm.
So that year we got like Lady J, Flint, Snake Eyes version 2, all of those kinds of figures, the Crimson Guard. I was so obsessed with the artwork on the card backs. I would have been 10 years old, 9 going on 10 that year. I was so obsessed with the artwork and the vision in my head of the first time I ever saw those figures in a toy shop on the shelves with the exploding background behind the characters and the file cards and everything. Took a figure home. I got figures for birthday, figures for Christmas. I wasn't cutting the bubbles then because I probably wasn't allowed a Stanley knife at that age.
Sure.
I would peel them off the bubble, but I would just peel off one side. I would play with them like all day Saturday, all day Sunday on the weekend. And then Sunday afternoon, I would put them all back in the bubbles, all the weapons back in the bubbles, and would display them on a chest of drawers next to my bed because I just had this obsession with that. Was probably the moment I knew at 10 that I would continue being a collector when I became that obsessed with the artwork on the cards and stuff. So
easier to keep track of accessories that way too. You wouldn't lose many.
No, you don't. I'm trying to think what accessories I did lose because by the time you get to 10, you look after your toys pretty well, and you know I'm sure I had a couple of things break, but I didn't used to lose very much stuff, you know, compared to when you're 5-6 years old. So,
well, had you kept Sergeant Slaughter or Sergeant Slammer, you may have lost the swagger stick, but didn't want to call you out while Slaughter Daughter was here. But yeah, Desert Rat. Tony Roberts was not a fan of the Triple T. Not a fan. He returned it. He returned it to the store.
I saw that.
Yeah, right.
I saw that on the episode you did with Tony, and I went, "Oh, really? That's interesting." All right, click.
Yeah.
It was nothing to do. It was nothing against your father. I wanted a bigger vehicle, and look, I grew up in England. We didn't know who Sergeant Slaughter was.
Yeah.
Right.
He was Sergeant Slammer, and even then, I was reading the comics, and he hadn't come into the comics yet. So, Anyway, Gem and the Holograms, whatever.
I think you said you were looking for the Havoc or something instead of the Triple T around that time. I forget.
Yeah, the Havoc. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So, anyway, whatever. Gem of the Holograms, like you said. Sure, let's go on.
Yeah.
Okay. Run with that.
We'll have to have a beer and toast to Gem and the Holograms. Desert Rat when you're in town for Supernova. In Kelly's honor. We'll cheers.
Yes.
What was the Barbie one again?
You'll have to FaceTime me.
Right. Barbie and the Rockers. Barbie and the Holograms, right? Yeah.
Barbie and the Rockers. Gem and the Holograms.
We'll FaceTime you, Kelly, and we'll see if we can get it right.
So Kelly, is your dad going to Joe Fest this year?
No. He will not be at Joe Fest this year.
He was double booked.
He never got the dates for Joe Fest. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do it. Just let me know the dates." And they didn't give him the dates, and he was already booked somewhere else. And they started advertising that he was going to be at Joe Fest, and he was like, "No."
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm already committed to something else that weekend.
Yeah.
So that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a shame. I'm sure he would have loved to have been there. But now, Tony's upset.
He would
He had a
loved to
whole.
have been there. He would have loved to have
I
been there, but I mean, what do you do when you already are in a contract with somebody else?
Hmm.
I
And
just
it's Lou
feel like
Ferrigno,
such
so
a Z-list replacement for your dad.
We all do.
well, if Bobby can get things going, I can be my dad's replacement.
Yeah, that would be cool. Do you live?
I need to get an action force, and then I can do it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on the East Coast, West Coast? Whereabouts are you?
East Coast.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah,
think
because
it's
when Zazel told me the time of this stream, I'm like, that's really late. But
Yeah.
we're all obviously on, because most of the people I stream with in the States, you know, Bobby and Retro Blasting and 2 Cents Toys, all those people are on the West Coast. So what's a 3-hour difference?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really late for Kelly.
Yeah.
What is it
Yeah.
now?
It's 3 a.m. right now.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
we'll wrap it up soon then, before you turn into a pumpkin.
She seems like she's having a great
would-
time. So
Oh yeah, I've been having a great time.
yeah,
Yeah,
hanging out with the toy nerds. It's all good.
That's right. Correcting us when we're wrong. I love it.
Yep.
Yep.
That's what I'm here for.
Keeping it real. Yeah. Cool. Cool.
All right. Well, yeah. On that, I guess we'll cut it there.
right.
Thank you everyone for being on the show. 2 hours is a good slog for one of these recordings. We're getting better at it now, so I don't have to edit so much of Kelly out, which is amazing.
Or I'm getting better is probably the better.
Oh
term
well,
there.
there. Or either that, or I'm just accepting it now, and it's like it's in. It stays in.
He's used to it
That's
now.
just Kelly.
Yeah, we're used to it. But it was great to have everybody on here. So 3POA has its own channel now. So when do you guys stream on there?
Every other Saturday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Sunday morning, Australian time, I think.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll be back Saturday the 9th,
Ninth.
the 8th,
Nice.
the 9th.
I try to catch it live when I don't have a hangover. But yeah.
We post all the updates on our Instagram at 3POA_podcast and our Facebook, which is just facebook.com/3POA podcast.
So who came up with the name 3POA? Because that's awesome.
Tony? Was it you?
No, it's you, Ryan. So me,
Okay.
Bobby, and Ryan, we had a group chat going, and it was very early on, and we were kind of spitballing these ideas, and Ryan just threw it out there, and we were like, "Oh, it sounds all right," and we kind of moved on, but it stuck. I think from what I remember, it was a name that just stuck in my head overnight, and the next day I was like, "No, I think it's a really good name."
You presented it as your idea.
You take the credit.
No, it definitely it was Ryan's suggestion, and yeah, I liked it. So yeah,
All right. The one good idea Ryan has had.
Just one. Yep.
Yeah. All right. Well, you've got that, mate. So yeah, well, hopefully you'll get up to 1,000 subscribers soon. I think once you stop the duality of being on Analog Toys, you might find people just naturally just go there without having to do it both ways.
got to cut the.
I'm no expert though, so don't quote me on it. Yeah, I don't know.
Mate, 6 years on YouTube, and I am certainly not an expert.
Yeah. We all do it for fun. If you don't do it for fun, then why not do it?
I don't understand most of the stuff on my YouTube Studio app, all the weird acronyms and everything. I'm just like, what the fuck is this? Just tell me how many
I
views
don't
I
even
got
bother.
already, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, YouTube analytics. Mate, I used to fall asleep in math class at school looking at charts and graphs. I can't do it. I
Yeah.
have no interest.
It looks like homework.
I just read the comments. I give them hearts if they're okay. If they're completely pointless, I just leave them. And then
Is that why some of mine don't get hearts? Right.
you always get hearts, Zazel.
All right, I'm just
Always.
teasing. I'm just teasing.
But I'm trying, Kelly. I'm trying to get better as well, because I used to have this bad habit of like not responding to nice comments, but just getting straight in there with the haters. Yeah.
Where you put your attention is what grows. So if you're putting attention to the haters, that's what's gonna grow. So if you put your attention to the positive, there you go.
I didn't know I was going to get such an education on this stream.
Wise words, Tony.
Kelly has been getting some interesting fans of her own. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
A few messages and
Saw that.
Uh-oh.
We're in it. We have a group chat, and I sent them a screenshot. I'm like, my first fan mail.
Fan mail.
Fan mail. I'm like, this guy wants my panties.
Oh.
This is awful. I sent it to my husband and I said, honey, it looks like you've got some competition. He's like, what the hell? I don't get to smell your panties in the morning. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're going to probably have to cut that out. Let's
There we
cut
go.
that part out. Let me start over.
Oh, it stays.
Yeah.
No.
I
We
got some
don't
really
cut that part
interesting
out.
fan mail.
We start the episode with that.
That's
There we
what you
go.
start the
All in
episode
favor.
with.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
earlier
It's very
on,
interesting.
when you made your quote or comment about happy spouse, happy house, I was like, I wonder if she charges by the hour to do some counseling with my wife. And
Kelly can be a mediator.
I
Just
I-
do as
I-
I say, not as I do.
I have a very happy marriage. A number of people have gotten to know my wife a little bit on the YouTube channel. She is like that all the time. So yeah.
And she's got her own code name, right? F-bomb? What is it? Or...
Yep, F-bomb.
Yeah,
So-
you can imagine why. Yeah.
I just realized that maybe that should be Kelly's code name as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that was fun, guys.
Yeah. So Kelly's episode is out now. Everyone go and check that out. It's a great listen. Not even if you're a Sarge fan, absolutely. If you're a wrestling fan, absolutely. There is a lot of behind the scenes stuff that you're not going to get from anywhere else. It's a behind the scenes look in the family dynamic that is Slaughter daughter and just her dad. So go over and check that out too. Everyone knows where Analog Toys is. I mean, no one here is watching this and going, I wonder who Analog Toys are. So yeah, you know who he is. And Ken from Toykennections, definitely go and check out his videos. Join his Patreon just so you can see how he just hacks violently into his box openings. It's worth it for that alone. How he hasn't damaged an action figure, I don't know, or cut himself, I will never know. But yeah, it's worth the price of admission just for that. But thanks everyone, I appreciate it. It's been fun. 2 hours flew by. It was good. It was a good hangout.
It was nice to meet you, Ryan. And
Nice
Tony.
to meet you too, Kelly. Yeah, it
You
was
too,
a
Kelly.
lot of
Yeah.
fun.
All right.
Ken,
And-
Zazel.
Folks. Awesome.
all right, you're dismissed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment down below.